If this is true love, please don't ever let me have it.
Warning, spoilers for the final season in this video. If you don't want to know that Jaime falls in love with Tormund this season, please don't watch. Also, Texas sucks.
You know how we were all excited about Jaime finally sticking it to Cersei? At the end of the last season, most of us were happy for Jaime. He finally stood up to Cersei and said, "I'm tired of your shit." Cersei did not want to uphold her end of the bargain to help with the White Walker issue.
Are you a traitor or an idiot?
You pledged our forces to fight our common enemy.
I'll say whatever I need to say to ensure the survival of our house.
And Jaime was not having that.
I made a promise. When the fighting in the north is over, someone wins. You understand that, don't you? If the dead win, they march south and kill us all. If the living win, and we've betrayed them, they march south and kill us all.
After playing chicken with his sister.
Give the order then. I don't believe you.
He finally left to head north to keep his promise. Well, if you were one of the people that were actually happy for Jaime and thinking, yes, he finally had that moment he had in the books where he realized, you're fucking crazy. I need to get away from you. I'm sorry. He didn't actually have that moment in the show. He didn't actually leave Cersei.
Jaime's actor Nikolai shared with EW during their huge Season 8 coverage of Game of Thrones, "It's easy to misinterpret that as he's choosing to leave her. But I think it's more that he's choosing to do what he believes is right."
Now, before you say he thinks, Nikolai knows what his character does for the final season. He's done filming.
What makes it scarier is Nikolai said one of the last scenes he filmed was beautiful. It wasn't Jaime's final scene, but the last one he filmed, and it was beautiful. So I'm thinking he says goodbye to Westeros to hang out in Essos and start a new life. Or, God, please don't let him be having sex with Cersei because he returned to her.
If you're thinking that isn't too bad, it gets worse. Nikolai doesn't see any problem with Jaime and Cersei's relationship, and in fact, he thinks Jaime and Cersei have one of the few true love stories of Game of Thrones.
He told an interviewer, "I think most people have at least been attracted to someone you shouldn't be. Not your sister, but someone you really shouldn't fall in love with. Like your best friend's girlfriend. It's one of the few true love stories in Game of Thrones. Jaime is dedicated to this woman."
He explained that Jaime is dedicated to Cersei, and he isn't walking away from her for good. Don't stick your dick in crazy, kids. It makes you do really stupid things.
Nikolai further made me feel sorry for his character when he said, "I find Jaime so interesting. The core of this guy is that he does what he does in the name of love. He's a complex guy. That's the key to Game of Thrones. The characters are never just black and white. Even though his story is set in this fantastical world and his circumstances are extreme, he is relatable."
I mean, yes, Jaime is not black or white, but if Nikolai thinks Jaime and Cersei have a true love, I'm actually concerned about his marriage.
I mean, really? I have so many questions here. Is this really a love story? Is it a love story when one person is dedicated to someone and the other is a selfish, spoiled monster that doesn't really love you? Cersei loved her own reflection and that she could control him. Are we to believe that Cersei truly loves Jaime and doesn't view him as something pretty and useful she can use?
You're a hateful woman. Why have the gods made me love a hateful woman?
Even the showrunners changed around scenes with Jaime and Cersei to make it appear Cersei had her claws in him from day one and just wanted to control him, and to make him leaving her a bigger moment. Well, and then they fucked it up with this scene.
Stop right. Stop right. It's not right.
I don't care. I don't care.
But I guess mistakes happen. But don't you ruin this moment by having him go back to her? Hopefully he loves her and goes back to just fucking kill her. Because man, if this is a true love story and just not the sad story of a man that was loyal to a snake bitch, what the fuck?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. For now.
What was interesting was his follow-up line about how life hasn't been great for Jaime in the show. He said, he has not had a lot of success and joy in his life. Everything he touches breaks.
I'd argue Jaime had more success in his life than others until...
Yeah, this should help you remember.
Some bad moments happened. And it's more like everything Cersei touches breaks, but I get where he's coming from, and it's not like him and Cersei are going to have a happy ending.
For one, Cersei is for sure being forced to marry Euron this season. I still strongly believe this clip here is showing that. Cersei's actor shared that Cersei is now indebted to Euron, and Euron's actor shared that he is blackmailing Cersei this season and wants to be king of the Seven Kingdoms. Cersei is going to realize that she isn't free to marry and love who she wants like she thought she would. Like I've said plenty of times, Cersei had this unrealistic view that if she had a penis between her legs, she'd have all the power and control. She will finally learn that in their society, you can be sitting the Iron Throne and still not truly have complete power over your life. Which she should have known by now, but Cersei isn't the brightest. Though I guess Cersei being married to someone else hasn't stopped Jaime from jumping on that before, so maybe it won't be an issue. Though Euron knows about their relationship, so I'd imagine he'd be more likely to get rid of Jaime just to be a dick.
Does she like it gentle or rough? A finger in the bum. Not now. We'll talk later.
Come on, that's a Euron move. I guess Cersei could be dethroned, Euron could be killed by Theon/Yara, and Jaime and her could go to Essos to live out the rest of their lives, but I doubt it. Cersei is too dangerous to be left alive, and I cannot see her giving up the Iron Throne and King's Landing without killing a lot of people. Probably including herself. It's more likely Jaime fights in the north, has to head back to King's Landing when they need more men, pleads with Cersei to finally uphold her end of the bargain, and when she says no and freaks out, he has to choke the fuck out of her to save the people of the city from the Mad King 2.0 move because, again, she'd rather burn that whole city than give it up. He then chooses to die with her because Brienne isn't getting any of that in the show. Boo. I swear if Jaime goes back to Cersei in the books, I'll scream though. Learn from your experiences, Jaime.
Lastly, what I really enjoy about Nikolai is he has reflected on how frustrating it can be where certain characters have dialogue off screen that we never see. And that's mostly because D&D are rushing things because they have a Star Wars contract to start working on. Gotta get that mad Star Wars money, yo.
He spoke on wanting more development between Jaime and Cersei, sharing, "I've driven the writers crazy for exactly that reason. It's the nature of the show that the storylines jump around, but couldn't Jaime and Cersei discuss the fact that their remaining child is dead, and now Cersei's going to be queen? So much happens in between. You have to connect these dots as an actor and sometimes make pretty massive leaps. There's a lot of bridges you have to build in your mind."
Which I totally understand. Sometimes it gets really frustrating when us as viewers have to fill in conversations we never see, especially when it appears like the characters never even had time to talk about it.
On conversations we never got to see, but we know happened, we know Sansa knows the whole story and was told off screen, but I would still love to see Jon explaining to Sansa how he was stabbed to death and then resurrected. That would have been such a fun scene, but I get that it was unnecessary. Also, would have been funny for Jon to share that Sansa missed the part where Ramsay was talking about feeding them to his dogs and how he had been starving them.
We're all fine-looking men. My dogs are desperate to meet you. I haven't fed them for 7 days. They're ravenous. I wonder which parts they'll try first.
Ah, well. But Nikolai's comments about the conversations Jaime and Cersei have surely had off-screen make me believe that something is going on with them that we don't know yet. Because if this is a simple, it really is true love, I don't buy it. I don't see how without further evidence Cersei isn't a super abusive, manipulative monster that doesn't truly love Jaime. I would honestly feel so bad for Jaime if he ended up with her in the end, spending his life with a cruel, vain person. But that's me, and despite my many jokes, it really doesn't bother me who you ship because it's fucking fiction. So that being said, despite me not liking them together, are you a Jaime Cersei shipper? Do you hope that Jaime goes back to her? Do you have any hopes for them getting a happy ending? And do you even think there's the slightest chance of Cersei living?
Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below. Also, do you think there's any hope for Jaime and Brienne hooking up in the show? I feel like I really don't at this point.